Welcome into MediaCom Stadium. A happy Tuesday night in May to you. We have a great girls soccer matchup on tap tonight. Top 15 Mason City visiting the Reeosevelt Rough Riders. The Riverhawks 10-2 on the season. The Rough Riders 9-2. Once again, welcome in. I'm John Schaefer. I will have your call tonight here on CISN. Excited to bring it to you. Mason City 4-1 in their last 5, coming off of a 3-0 loss to Ankeny Centennial on May 6th. Meanwhile, the Reeosevelt Rough Riders have won 5 in a row. They beat Des Moines Lincoln 6-1 earlier this season, beating Fort Dodge 10-zip, ADM 2-1, and a nice win over Des Moines North as well, 4-1 back in mid-April. Two teams certainly looking for a trip to the county soccer complex for state, and of course Mother Nature giving us a little bit of a show tonight. We've got a beautiful rainbow as storms have passed through. We had a lightning delay in the JV game. Our camera ops being put to work as well, trying to anchor down their cameras. We got all the action coming your way from Mason City and Des Moines Reeosevelt next on CISN.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here, and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
It's our April sales event, now at DeArmond Ford Indianola. New F-150s, the best-selling truck for 47 years with 1.9% APR for 72 months, plus $1,000 cash. Get 0% for 66 months on both new Ford Explorers and Edges, plus $750 cash back on Explorer. And all-electric Mach-E, now only $460 a month. Save big during our April sales event at DeArmond Ford. DeArmondFord.com.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Welcome back inside of MediaCom Stadium. Starters getting ready to be announced here on Drake campus. Once again, thank you so much for joining us tonight on CISN. John Schaefer bringing you the call tonight. Reeosevelt 9-2. Once again, Mason City 10-2 on the season. They are also a top 15 team. The Riverhawks certainly looking at a trip to county soccer complex possibly. Mother Nature, as I mentioned, going into the break, giving us a nice show. We've got the double rainbow going on, and I know that's always a treat for a mid-spring thunderstorm. Of course, trying to avoid the lightning delays. We saw that in the JV game. That set us back just a little bit. Thus why we have an 8 o'clock start time as we go through the Riverhawks starters right now. Let's go ahead and take PA if we can. Otherwise, the wind might be cutting through it. But let's give it a look and see what we can bring you tonight.
Henna Heeman, Kaya Whipple, Isabel Hardy, and Karma McMorris. And now for the Reeosevelt Rough Riders. First we have Siva Niddle, Ada Bogdansky, Hope Reagan, Viva Spellman, Magnolia Adamson, Savannah Carlson, Riley Bray, Emma Cranbeck, Lila Kehoe, Anna Cruz,
So there are our starters tonight for both Roosevelt and Mason City. We'll see if we get a national anthem as well. It looks like they will turn their attention to the flag. So once again, we will go ahead and head to break. When we come back, we'll get you with the opening kickoff between Mason City and Des Moines Roosevelt.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Hey you two, we all want to be winners, right? The winning drive comes from choosing unleaded 88, a cleaner burning fuel made from corn. That way, we all win. Now give me some wings. That's the winning drive. Now let's go get some tailgating snacks.
Hi, Joe the Car Guy, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car is on injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible, so bring it here to Westside Auto. I have the team of experts that can fix every automotive injury, whether it's a fractured joint, a broken part, or if your car just got its bell rung. We'll do a complete physical to make sure your car is game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get you back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging out there. Move it, move it, move it.
Over 1,300 vehicles on WauKeeShevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WauKeeShevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WauKeeShevy.com.
Free Godfather's Pizza begins with the download. Order through my new online ordering app and start earning free pizza and sides. It's easy. Download the Godfather's Pizza online ordering app today. Do it.
Stadium as we wrap up the national anthem. A wonderful color matchup tonight as well, I must say, between these two teams. Mason City will be in the white and red shorts. Roosevelt rocking the navy blue with white striped shoulder to bottom right leg, and certainly going to be a fun matchup tonight. Two teams that know how to score goals, certainly have put up plenty of points. Look for Ziva Spellman, the freshman for Roosevelt. She's got 16 goals this season on 30 shots. For Mason City, their leading scorer, Karma McMorris, 29 goals on 68 shots. And it will be Roosevelt starting off with our kickoff here inside of Mediacom Stadium. That's going to be Ada Brogdansky, who's going to kick it off for the Rough Riders as we are about to get underway. Again, avoiding lightning delays tonight here in-game is critical, as JV did have that lightning delay, and we are off. Roosevelt going left to right on your screen in that navy blue, coming up the sideline, but Mason City draws the turnover, and they're going to go on the counter offensive as Karma McMorris here working along the sideline. Nice feed ahead. She goes to Allison Brandt. Brandt working inside out. Brandt going to hustle it down and try and cross it into the box, and that's going to be corralled early on for Asia Lynn Powell, and look for her to be tested plenty tonight against this Mason City team as she sends it out wide. Cannot be handled well out wide there by Seba Niddle, and that will be a Mason City throw-in. Weather's calmed down a bit. Both of our camera operators being put to the test physically tonight, having to anchor down the cameras there before we got into our pregame show. So big shout out to both of them. Aaron doing a great job putting all of his weight into it. Same with Reese and Sean Ingracia tonight on the director table. Roosevelt coming in with a quick counter. We're going to get a nice run here. Seba Niddle out wide, going to want to send it back into the box. She does. A tipped ball, but bounding around inside the 18. Easily handled there for the Mason City goalkeeper, Isabel Hardy. Hardy rocking the one blue uniform tonight on the back end of Mason City. Of course, as Asia Lynn Powell there in the pink for Roosevelt in between the pipes. Of course, Roosevelt playing inside of Mediacom Stadium. This new facility just absolutely beautiful. Roosevelt typically played out at County Soccer Complex. Great through ball, bringing it off the line though. Well done there by Isabel Hardy, coming well off her line outside the 18-yard box, but Roosevelt back in on the counter. Here comes Seba Nittle. Nittle with a shot, buries it, finds Twine, and there is our first goal of the night on the first shot of the night. Nittle with an absolute howitzer after getting in behind the defense, and she will not miss from there. An early strike at 2:02 of the first half sees the Roosevelt Rough Riders go up 1-0. Let's see if we can get another look at it. If we have replay, let's go ahead. We'll get it to you here in just a bit. Nittle, once again, the goal scorer for Roosevelt at 2:02 of this first half, and the Rough Riders on the board. They do strike quickly. And if you were with me on my last call, Southeast Polk Dowling, it took about the entirety of that game to find a goal scorer. Not tonight. A quick strike, I do not imagine it will be the last of this evening, as once again Seba Nittle with the first shot on frame, finding the back of the net. Mason City now setting it up, and that ball gets sent out of bounds. Roosevelt once again looking to attack here as we get a throw in from Magnolia Adamson. Adamson into Savannah Carlson. Carlson working that triangle there. Roosevelt being defended nicely by Mason City. Well done there by Elizabeth Ondama. Roosevelt will settle it in the back once again and try and work it through the midfield. Playing it out wide and back to that defensive line. There is once again Anna Kruger. Anna Kruger working it along the sideline up ahead. Roosevelt content with possession here. That's Ziva Spellman. She is the leading goal scorer for Roosevelt right now, but Seba Nittle has something else to say about that out wide, and that will be a Roosevelt throw-in. Roosevelt looking to make another big play. Nittle with the big long toss into the box. It's bounding, and another goal for Roosevelt. This time it's finding the back of the net is Ziva Spellman. A big throw by Nittle, and Spellman there to clean it up.
Ziva Spellman.
Big goal for Roosevelt. Of course, the freshman strikes once again. That makes her 17th goal on the season. This one coming at 3:40. Another look at it here is the big throw from Nittle. Going to take a hop inside the 18, and Spellman off the volley puts it to the back of the net. 3:40 into this game, and we've got a 2-0 lead for the Roosevelt Rough Riders off the foot of Ziva Spellman. Roosevelt with just 2 shots on frame, 2 shots attempted, and both have found the back of the net tonight, and the Rough Riders are not playing around, looking to hand Mason City back-to-back losses. Roosevelt, once again, they have been red hot as of late, 9-2 on the season, but here comes Mason City on a counter, coming down the near sideline. It's going to be Claudia Sewell. Sewell into Elizabeth Ondoma. Roosevelt doing a nice job collapsing around that ball. Now they look to counter. Up the sideline comes Spellman, the second goal scorer of this game. Pacing her way in, going to cut it back into the middle. Has more space to work. Backing off defenders, nice through ball, and it is back on the foot of Nittle. Nittle tracking it down, she will, and that will be another throw in for Roosevelt. Lovely job by Nittle shielding off Annika Bugan. Big throw from Nittle into the box. She wastes no time. There's a header just wide of frame from Ziva Spellman, and that will mean a goal kick for the Mason City Riverhawks. Well, I mentioned it. The Roosevelt Rough Riders have been red hot as of late. 5 wins in a row. I'm trying to pull up their schedule now to see if they've gone any longer there. Make that 2, 4, 6, 8 wins in a row since falling 2-0 to Johnston back on April 2nd. Their only other loss coming to Urbandale in the first game of the season. That game at Urbandale was a 2-1 final. Otherwise, Roosevelt's knocked off Prairie 4-3, beat Ottumwa 4-1, and we've got a lovely through ball there for Mason City. Just a little bit too far out in front. Asia Lynn Powell corrals, and back comes Roosevelt on the attack. It's Spellman once again. She's going to be tracked down by Sewell. Lovely move. Look at her move into the middle of the field. Plays another through ball. No offsides. The offsides flag is up there. I misspoke, and Niddle was in on the far side, just offside. So that is a Mason City free kick there, back at about what would be the 5-yard line on that football grid. Of course, we are inside the yellow lines here at Mediacom Stadium. Albaugh Family Field on Drake campus. And sun setting here on central Iowa. Of course, getting some unexpected storms rolling through the area right around 6:45, 6:30. That would set JV back again. And as I mentioned earlier, that is why we had the 8 o'clock start time. But weather's moved out, soccer's moved in, and Roosevelt has certainly not taken any rest since the kickoff of this game. We sit 2-0 off the foot of Seba Niddle and Ziva Spellman. Both have goals tonight for Roosevelt, and it's been much of Roosevelt's possession in this game. Spellman working it outside. She's looking for Savannah Carlson. Carlson can't track it down. Lovely job on the defensive end by Mason City there as they've collapsed back into their 4 backs. Roosevelt on the throw-in. That ball stays in bounds. Carlson working along that sideline. Nice move, puts across in. Spellman with another header. Maybe a little bit far outside. She's just inside that 18-yard box, but that will be another goal kick for the Riverhawks. So Roosevelt's won 8 straight coming into tonight, coming off a 6-1 win on senior night here at Mediacom Stadium. The next 3 will be critical. They get Ames next on the 9th, Pella on the 11th, and then they'll finish against Dowling Catholic. And again, Roosevelt now with new turf over at their high school, so they'll play 2 of those 3 at the Randy Duncan Turf Field at Roosevelt High School. Certainly a treat getting to play here at Mediacom Stadium tonight. Always a blast. Got to give them credit on what they've built here. Spacious press box for us up here, sheltered from all wind, rain, and weather. Meanwhile, great action on the field, a great environment for fans to come out to. If you haven't been to Mediacom Stadium, please come check it out. Wonderful addition to the Drake campus here for not only the high school teams in town, but also the Drake University Athletics. I know soccer plays over here. I don't know that we'll ever get football out over here. They'll stay at Drake Stadium as long as that stadium is still standing. Of course, the relays wrapped up just a couple of weeks ago, and Roosevelt trying to defend Mason City here as we get a header into the box. Asia Lynn Powell steps off her line and gets a quick clearance. Had to be careful there, but Mason City on the prowl as they work it back in once again. Elizabeth Ondoma going to feed it out to Claudia Sewell. That ball bounds and bouncing inside the 18. Got to be careful there if you are the Rough Riders, and that is the smart play as they clear it out wide. Mason City now going to get a throw in here on the near sideline. If we get a good angle on it, it's a bit steep up here. That's Elise Dykstra with the throw in, and Mason City going to try and set it up here on the near side. Sewell crossing it into the box. Asia Lynn Powell there with an easy save. But you like the attempt there from Sewell, their first shot of the game, and first shot on frame at that. Roosevelt once again leading 2-0. About 30 minutes left in this first half. We're only about 10 minutes in. And here comes Mason City once again. The through ball to Sewell. Sewell with speed. Beats the defender. She's into the box. Has a man. But another punch away from Asia Lynn Powell. That one was looking for the near post. Powell there sends it beyond the end line. Just wide of net. And we will get our first corner kick of the game, and that's going to bring me to my feet because that corner is awfully hard to catch while seated. And we will get our first corner once again of the game as it gets sent into the box. Bounces around a couple times and never really a great shot there. A great clearance from Roosevelt, and they will try to counter and pin Mason City back. Spellman gets a foot on it, but that's going to end up back on the foot of Sewell. Sewell with speed out wide. She's got help in the middle. It's Karma McMorris waiting on it, but Sewell could not get a good foot on it. Back come Roosevelt. Ziva Spellman, near side. Up the sideline she goes, making a run, looking for a little bit of support. Shows off the footwork. She's got some help there if she needs it. Sends one out to the middle. Roosevelt trying to work it cross field. That was Emma Krambeck. Can't quite get a good foot on it, but Roosevelt does retain. And we're back here on CISN. We apologize for the technical difficulties here at MediaCom Stadium. Thanks for sticking with us. 2-0 soccer game between Roosevelt and Mason City. The Rough Riders up 2-0. Coming early on in the first 4 minutes, Roosevelt struck twice. It was Seba Niddle and Ziva Spellman, both with the goals. And Roosevelt once again on the attack. You might have missed it before the stream cut out there. It was Karma McMorris with a shot that just snuck wide, had Asia Lynn Powell beat, but just wide of frame. Mason City's had a couple of opportunities. They've certainly gotten up on their toes after giving up 2 early goals as Claudia Sewell plays it ahead to McMorris. McMorris now attacking 2 defenders once again, looking for some help. She's got a runner. It's Sewell once again. Powell off her line, and we're going to get a foul in the box and a penalty kick. Claudia Sewell stays down. That one does not feel good. See if we can get one more look at it. And that one will knock the wind out of you. It never feels good to land on the turf. Here's one more look at it. Great through ball by McMorris. Sewell with speed. This is a smart play here by Powell. You don't like seeing a player injured, but Powell having to come off of her line and make that play. She is carded on that play, and we will get a goalie substitution. I believe we've got a red card on that. Sewell with the wind knocked out of her a little bit, but she is back up on her feet. And we'll get our first PK of the night. It'll be interesting to see who steps in for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Jay Nichols has played some minutes this season for the Rough Riders in goal. Asia Lynn Powell, of course, has had a good night. But very little time for Jay Nichols to step in, the freshman. See if we get an announcement on who is subbing, and I'm pretty sure it will be Jay Nichols, though. And she will be tested right out of the gates. There is no tougher spot for a goalkeeper than being on the defending end of a PK, especially against someone like Karma Morris. Morris is the leading scorer for this Mason City squad. 29 goals this season for Morris. The referee letting Nichols know what's happening here. Just helping her get situated as we get ready. And this could change the tide of this game for both sides. Mason City, it's Karma McMorris stepping up, delivers. And she finds the back of the net on the response from the Riverhawks. This all comes from a beautiful setup from McMorris, playing it ahead to Sewell. Sewell gets fouled inside the 18. That does send Asia Lynn Powell off with the red card. And one more look. McMorris, no doubt about it, goes low right corner.
Karma McMorris.
Jay Nichols in at keeper. It's a tough position to be in, stepping in on a PK. You got to guess sometimes, and other times you just got to make a play on it. Unfortunately, Nichols just left frozen-footed there on the goal line as McMorris left no doubt, and we've got a 2-1 soccer game 20 minutes into this. 20:01 is the marker for that goal. McMorris on the PK. And it's 2-1 Roosevelt. Rough Riders will need to do everything that they can to keep the ball off their back line and make sure they're not testing their young keeper. Another through ball over the top to McMorris. She is onside. We've got a runner on the far side as well. McMorris going to send one to that far side. Cleared away by Roosevelt. Mason City smells blood in the water. But back comes Spellman the other way. Look at the speed from Spellman. Ziva Spellman, the freshman, with some fancy footwork. Working it back across field through 2 defenders. She's into the 18. That ball cleared away and will be a corner kick for Roosevelt. Spellman, the fancy footwork. And Roosevelt with a chance to answer back in this 2-1 soccer game. A lot of excitement tonight here at MediaCom Stadium. Certainly enjoy this action on CISN for you. And here comes the delivery. Into the box it goes, low and hard. That one corralled easily by Isabel Hardy. And she will push her players out of the box, get them upfield, and punt this one away. Remember, this turf does take big hops occasionally, and Mason City trying to utilize some of those. Nice play there by Magnolia Adamson. Adamson, though, turns it over. Through ball to McMorris. McMorris with space and speed. She has another chance here. Goes low and hard. Great save by Jay Nichols. Drops to her feet. Huge save for the Rough Riders. Keeps it a 1-goal game. In on the break. We'll get you that replay here in just a moment. Lovely job by our camera team here. Let's go to it. McMorris, low and hard, thinks that's the way to go. Nichols drops quickly and corrals it. Again, a 2-1 soccer game. We've got all sorts of action going both ways here between the Riverhawks and the Rough Riders. Riverhawks with possession here in the midfield. In white, red shorts going right to left. What a move inside the midfield there. Through ball to Sewell. Claudia Sewell in once again. She started that playoff. Sends one on net just wide of frame. Looking for that near upper 90. Just outside of the post. But Sewell, she is a sniper at that. And she's certainly testing that back line for Roosevelt tonight. That was one more look at it there by our replay team. Certainly doing a great job on cameras tonight. It is all of our team tonight, I should say, after a blustery start in the pregame and having to anchor cameras down because they would have blown over their stanchion and railing here. Roosevelt coming back on the attack. Niddle gonna send one into the box. Not cleared. It's Spellman with it at her feet, looking for a little bit of help. Finds it across the middle. Bray in over the crossbar, and Roosevelt starting to try and answer back. Their fourth shot attempt goes just high over the crossbar here. Let's get one more look at it once again. Our replay team busy tonight. Spellman to Bray. Bray just over that crossbar, and Mason City lucky to get away from that one, but back comes Roosevelt, wasting no time. Niddle can't quite get to it, but that'll fall to the midfielder's feet. They're going to work it back across the middle. Once again, Roosevelt trying to work it down low. That's Riley Bray with the possession. She'll kick it out wide. Back to Bray. Bray down the middle. Back out wide. Trying to shake off that Mason City defender, but great job by the midfield for Mason City. But back comes Roosevelt. Ball out wide to Spellman. Spellman's got some speed. Running out of space. It's a great job on the near side by Mason City's defender there. The Rough Riders certainly trying to find a little bit of rhythm in this one. Just having a hard time out wide. As that sun has set now. Getting a little bit harder to read those numbers on the jersey, but that was, I believe, Whitney Davis there on the clear. Roosevelt with the throw-in. That's Sewell on the defense there once again. 15 for Mason City. Claudia Sewell, the senior. She's a forward midfielder for this Mason City Riverhawks team and showing that speed tonight. Plenty of opportunities. Again, the goal from McMorris started because of that speed from Sewell as she got taken down in the box by Asia Lynn Powell. Powell would get a red card, be sent off for that foul in the box. A big attack here from Roosevelt, off the chest and into the back of the net for the Rough Riders. Mark it up once again, this time coming off the chest of Ada Brogdansky. Ada, right place, right time. Let's see if we can get one more look at it here in just a moment as we've got a 3-1 soccer game. One more look. Great ball into the box. And Brogdansky just right place, right time, sends it in off the stomach and to the back of the net at 25-34 of this first half. Roosevelt now up 3-1. Rough Riders in control, but Mason City will not go quietly into the night. I'll promise you that. They've had their chances, and they're going to keep pressing with every chance they get. But Roosevelt has possessed the ball much of this matchup. And here come the Riders once again, sending one down the line. This one once again going to Brogdansky. Brogdansky with speed. Down that white sideline she goes. Keeps possession off the defender's leg. That's Annika Bugan with the shot block, and we'll get another corner for Roosevelt. Brogdansky, the latest goal scorer for Roosevelt, has us at a 3-1 game. So we'll get the corner near side. On the delivery, it's going to be Savannah Carlson. Carlson sends it into the box. She's got some crashing Roosevelt teammates. Off the volley, just sailing it up over the crossbar. Good opportunity for Roosevelt. So lovely bounce off the volley for Ziva Spellman. Spellman just could not bring it down. 6-shot attempt for Roosevelt tonight. Just over the crossbar, and the wind's starting to pick up once again, and rain as well. Our camera ops, you might see some shaky shots out there. That is okay. Good job by our camera team, keeping their feet firmly planted over there. We'll keep an eye on that for you, and we'll get back to the action here. Shifty move on the near side by Harper O'Berry, but the ball stays with Mason City. McMorris looking for a through ball going up over the top, just does not have anyone there to help her out. Roosevelt looking to counter. Niddle, far side. Wind has picked up. You can hear it through our microphones. Debris blowing on the field, rain blowing sideways across the lights. And Roosevelt on the attack. Ball stays out of midfield here, and Roosevelt will reset to their back line, trying to switch things up a little bit. Going near far sideline to Niddle. Niddle with the left, back to the middle of the field. Back to the middle once again. Bray looking for an outlet there. Had Brogdansky just a little bit off the mark. And they'll reset once again. Playing along that far sideline is Niddle. Niddle shielding off a defender, keeps possession. They'll work it along the numbers. Into Bray. Bray, a quick flick. Brogdansky, great job battling, just could not bring it back to her feet. And that ball will bound out of bounds. Again, that turf does not slow the ball down much, if at all. Not like the grass turf at County Soccer Complex does, and we get a throw in here for Roosevelt. That's Harper O'Berry on the throw in. We got Spellman with the ball at her feet, going to send one on net, and that will be knocked down by Isabel Hardy. Hardy just bats it down. We got 10:45 left in this half of soccer. 3-1 Roosevelt lead. The header sending to the back line. Quick runner here for Mason City. Ball ahead, Nichols off her line, and she will scoop it up. Quick look there for Mason City. They certainly had an opportunity on that run. Looked like it was Kenna Hemmen with that run there for Mason City. Just could not bring it back in. And again, that turf rolls out so much more than a grass field typically does. So you see that ball bounce a little bit more. You see it roll out, have a little bit more speed. I think a lot of teams love using the speed on the turf. It can be a tough transition once you get over to County Soccer Complex and you're playing on the grass. That really does slow that ball down. Not saying they let it grow long or anything like that, but as we now are going to get a sub in here, I believe we're going to get Ajalyn Powell back in. She had to sit out about 20 minutes, I think, and that's what comes with a yellow card. May not have been a red on her, but it will be Powell back in. And here you can see that rain pouring down on the stadium lights, those LED lights installed here in this new stadium showing that rain coming down. It's not a warm rain, I'll promise you that, as we've had some cells in and out. Nothing severe, just thunderstorms, your typical spring storms here for central Iowa across the plains. Certainly nothing as severe as what we saw a couple of weeks ago across the state of Iowa. But nonetheless, keeping an eye on things. Camera operators, once again, shout out to them. They're out in the elements dealing with this wind, trying to keep our cameras down to bring you tonight's action on CISN. But that rain is howling and blowing around, but the ball is too, as we get a big run in from Brogdansky. She's going to try and track it down. Can't quite get to it, as Hardy, once again, will scoop it up and hold things tight. Punts it away, and it is pouring out there right now. They are playing through it. It is not warm, I'll promise you that. Ball sent in just wide of frame there from Spellman. Spellman had a go at it. She figured, why not? Great shot there from Reeosevelt. And they've had about 7 or 8 shots. 3 or 4 have been on frame in this half, with 8:09 to play in the first half of soccer between Reeosevelt and Mason City. Certainly has lived up to the hype. Reeosevelt looking for their 10th win on the year. Mason City trying to get win number 11, both with 2 losses this season. Spellman, first touch is a little strong. Ball gets played through to McMorris. McMorris bottled up in the midfield, and back comes Reeosevelt on the counter. Carlson, lovely footwork there to trap that ball, knock it down, and control it. Niddle, now with space. Into the box they go. Play on, says the official. And it is howling out there, folks. You can hear it. You can certainly see it. Ball being played along the near sideline. It's almost comical. Shout out to our camera ops. I cannot stress that enough. Me and Sean, our director, or Sean and I, our director, we're nice and warm in the press box here. Our camera ops getting hammered with wind, rain, and whole lot more, and Mason City trying to hammer one away. That ball just sent wide once again. Great opportunity for Mason City. It was Kenna Hemmen with the look, sends it wide of frame, and Mason City trying to strike in this one and get this to a 1-goal game, 3-1. Let's see if we can get another shot of those lights if possible, because, boy, it is just a humming out there. Look at this shot. That is just, it looks like an early season football game in Florida during a monsoon at Florida State or something like that. I can assure you it is not. It's just spring in Iowa. But they play on, no lightning, thank goodness. And Reeosevelt trying to make this a 4-1 soccer game. Ball not settled. Up the sideline comes Mason City once again. It's Claire Sewell. Sorry, Whitney Davis there with the turnover, and Reeosevelt coming back at it. Wind continues to blow. I'm just going to let this one continue to play out here as we've got swirling winds and no hail to speak of, just heavy rains here at Mediacom Stadium on the campus of Drake University. Now, keep in mind, if you're a forward or attacking at all, it's not a bad idea to send a shot or two on frame, because that ball will skip off this turf a lot more than we typically see. Wet turf, wet ball, it will skip around quite a bit. Annika Bugan now with the ball in the midfield. Going to send one ahead just a little bit too much, and there you see it. Kind of that first, second touch off the turf. It's going to skip a lot, and ahead it goes. So you've got to have a little bit better touch, a little bit better pace on those passes ahead. Otherwise, have a go on frame, because odds are it might cross up a netminder or two this evening. Ball off the back line for Reeosevelt. Batted down. Going back to work is the Riverhawks. Ball bounding around at the midfield. McMorris settles things down, looking for a little bit of space. Going to try and cross up a defender using her speed. Here she goes into the 18. Has a go on net. Smart play. I don't mind it. Asia Lynn Powell, who is back in this game. She corrals it, and back comes Reeosevelt on the offensive. 1-2 punch back to the outside. They go to Spellman. Spellman's got to corral that one. Working it off of her feet. Cuts it back inside, back outside. Fancy footwork from Spellman. Carlson, the one touch, back down low. Spellman going to try and send it in the box out wide. Does. Thanks for sticking with us here on CISN halftime. Dealing with a technical difficulty or two, hearing some power outages across the metro right now due to these storms moving through quickly. The wind, of course, the big thing. If you don't believe us, you can ask our camera operators after tonight's game how they felt about it. Certainly having to battle through it. Well, we've got a 3-1 soccer game. Reeosevelt leading Mason City. Let's recap our scoring for you. Seba Niddle started it off at 2:02 of the first half, made it a 1-0 game with a quick strike. Then Ziva Spellman followed it up just a minute 38 later, 2-0 Reeosevelt, just 4 minutes into this game. Our next goal would not come until Karma McMorris stepped into up to the dot for the PK. She puts it past, I believe it was Jay Nichols, who had to step in as goalkeeper due to Asia Lynn Powell being put to the bench after a yellow card on the tackle in the box that would set.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here, and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
It's truck season at DeArmond Automotive Knoxville. New 2024 Silverado 1500s with 3.9% for 60 months plus $2,750 cash back. 2024 Sierra 1500s with up to $9,000 off. And 2024 Equinox and Terrain, both with 3.9% for 60 months plus up to $2,000 cash back. Save big this truck season on all new Chevrolet and GMCs at DeArmond Chevy GMC Knoxville. DeArmondChevyGMC.com.
And we're back inside of MediaCom Stadium. Once again, John Schaefer bringing you the vocal cords tonight. Of course, Reeosevelt, the home team tonight at MediaCom Stadium. Just, I believe, their third or fourth game inside of this stadium for Reeosevelt, at least. Trying to pull up our stat leaders here at Bound because, boy, just looking over some things within this game alone, Karma McMorris, her goal is her 30th of the season. That's good enough for 4th overall in the state. The only players in front of her, Addison Hoban from Spencer. She's got 55 goals in Class 2A. Class 1A, Morgan Crease, a sophomore, 40 goals for Panorama. And then just in front of McMorris is Morgan Russman, a senior out of Pleasant Valley, who in Class 3A has 35 goals. Just nipping at McMorris's heel is Zoe Whitcop, who is a senior out of Lamar's. She's got 28 goals as well. So that just goes to tell you a lot of good quality soccer going on out there. Of course, Addison Hoban, a junior, certainly would love a trip to county, just like the rest of these teams. And I'm not sure if you saw the announcement, but starting, I believe, in 2025, girls' state soccer going to be played up in Ames. A nice move there as the soccer complex up in Ames will be a little bit more central for some of those northern teams. Certainly always appreciate county. As a Reeosevelt grad myself, I grew up playing at county and have an appreciation for the Southside Soccer Complex here in Des Moines, but it's always good when you can get those state tournaments venturing around. We were in Muscatine in my high school days, and that was quite the haul for any of us that did make state. So a lot of fun here at MediaCom Stadium. Again, a 3-1 soccer game as we'll get ready for second half kickoff here on CISN after the break.
Hi, Joe the Car Guy, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car is on injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible, so bring it here to Westside Auto. I have the team of experts that can fix every automotive injury, whether it's a fractured joint, a broken part, or if your car just got its bell rung. We'll do a complete physical to make sure your car is game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get you back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging out there. Move it, move it, move it.
Over 1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Free Godfather's Pizza begins with the download. Order through my new online ordering app and start earning free pizza and sides. It's easy. Download the Godfather's Pizza online ordering app today. Do it.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
And we're back inside of Mediacom Stadium. The numbers we just went over, of course, for girls soccer numbers, just kind of baffled us a little bit within the walls of our press box tonight. So we really did have to look up our stat leaders. Again, Addison Hoban, the junior from Spencer, with 55 goals this season. So we looked up Spencer. They've had 5 or 6 wins, 11-1 or 10-0. 10 win mercy rule, or 10 goal mercy rule. So she's certainly had her handful of goals as we get a kickoff here between 3A's Mason City and 3A's Roosevelt Rough Riders. And Mason City wasting no time trying to get that ball going the offensive direction. The rain has stopped. Of course, right before half, we had some unsettling weather. Again, no lightning to speak of, just some heavy rain, strong winds. And rumor has it some power outages around the metro as well. But lights are on here inside of Mediacom Stadium. 3-1 Roosevelt leading Mason City as we get back to the action. Just 30 seconds into this second half, and Roosevelt being put on the defensive early here. Roosevelt in the blue jerseys, going right to left now in this half. Mason City in white. Big run here coming. Spellman, out to Brogdanovich. That's going to get to Niddle, and we've got an offsides flag up. That means a free kick for Mason City here. See if we can get back to some offensive action. Of course, it only took 2 minutes for the Roosevelt Rough Riders to strike in the first half off the foot of Seba Niddle. And once again, Roosevelt with 7 shot attempts there, 3 on frame. Mason City with 5 in the first half, 2 on frame. Then they found one on the PK from the foot of Karma McMorris at 20:01 of the first half. Ball going through to Bogdansky. Could not quite get there as it's hauled in by Hardy. And Mason City trying to get things going back the other way once again. Ball spending a lot of time at midfield here to start the second half as we're 2 minutes in, and ball being played up through. Back line for Roosevelt's been very good tonight. The only time they've been broken was when Claudia Sewell showed the speed, got behind and taken down inside the box, led to the McMorris goal. Bogdansky trying to play a little flick over the top, gets batted down, going through out to Niddle. Niddle with some space, going to send one in off the outside of a right foot. And that shot is the first of our second half, but it is wide of frame. And that is a goal kick here for Mason City and Miss Hardy. Isabel Hardy in net tonight for Mason City. Riverhawks with a little bit of ball possession here, but Roosevelt will take that away. Ball kicked out of bounds. We're going to get a throw in Mason City's way. They're going to go back on the offensive And once again, I said it in the first half. If you weren't with us in that first half, please get out to MediaCom Stadium. It is quite the facility. Certainly beautifully done here. Plenty of fan seating. 2 decks here on the home side. Single seating bleachers on the far side, the east side of the stadium. Great addition to the Drake campus. Great addition for Des Moines Public Schools. The only high school that doesn't play here is Des Moines East. Of course, they have the historic Williams Stadium over there, just down the road from the high school on Southeast 15th Street. Always love a good trip down to Williams. Ball going through this time for Mason City, but again, that back line for Roosevelt has been tough to crack. McMorris on the near side, getting the ball nearly taken away by Hope Reagan, but here comes Mason City on the attack. Lovely play there by Powell on the backside of things. The goalkeeper for Roosevelt coming well off her line to punt it out. We'll see if we can get a quick replay before the corner set up here. It's a lovely run by Mason City on it. Let's get the replay. There we go. But Powell coming off her line intelligently and stops any opportunity for the Riverhawks as we get a corner now on the near side of the field. That near corner, a tough one to see sometimes. It's all right. Ball sent into the box. Bouncing around, up and wide goes that shot attempt from Sewell. She's been dangerous tonight, and that is the first shot of the half for Mason City. The Riverhawks again, 10 wins on the season, having quite the year. Top 15 team in the 3A rankings. Roosevelt has been good themselves, coming off of 8 straight wins. Mason City, a formidable foe, though. Rough Riders with possession in the backfield. Going to play it along the line. Niddle putting a hand up looking for something, but McMorris just hounding the midfielders for Roosevelt there. That's Reagan getting her pocket picked. McMorris now with the ball in the corner. Going to look for a little bit of help. Ooh, that ball going off of the face of the defender. It's a gutsy play there for Roosevelt's. I believe that was Emma Krambeck taking that one. Does a good job, though, fending it off, and Mason City's going to go back to work. That's Kaya Whipple trying to whip one into the box. Opportunity here, low hard shot, knocked down before it ever gets on frame. Roosevelt on the counter. We're going to get a foul call once again. Mason City. Annika Bugan showing some speed, gets taken down there, and that ball's going to go back the other way as Mason City's going to try and set things up on the 30-yard line of that football grid. No wall for Roosevelt, just a single defender out on 10 yards back. This ball likely going to be sent into the box by Bugan. Bugan sends it. It's there for a touch, but Powell there on the one hop, and she's going to settle things down, put it out wide. Here comes Roosevelt on the counter, far side of the field. Slowing this pace down a little bit. Not as much scoring to speak of early in the second half. And we're going to get a foul going Roosevelt's way now. Things starting to pick up physically for both teams. Couple of fouls going each way. No cards to speak of. As we get the delivery, going to play it easy, and that's Bray with the ball at the 40. Going to put it back out wide. Mason City, let's see if I can get a number on it as well. Kaya Whipple was right there on the doorstep. All she had to do was tap it in, just caught the wrong side of her foot. But Mason City still attacking. Ball cleared. Here comes the counter from Roosevelt. Flicked ahead, Gross up the middle. Looking for a little help out wide. Magnolia Adamson out there on the far side. Scratch that. Ziva Spellman on the far side. She's been active tonight as well. The leading scorer for Roosevelt, netting her 17th goal on the year to make it 2-0 back at the 3:40 mark of the first half. Roosevelt with the ball at their feet, turns it over to Mason City. Mason City going back to work. They turn it over. Sewell trying to fight off the midfielder for Roosevelt. Cannot do. Ondoma there tries to clear one away as well. She comes up with it at her feet, going to play it through out wide. Once again, it's Whipple, who just had that opportunity. She's going to try and make up for it. Lovely through ball for her. Into McMorris, just a little bit too far out in front, and Powell will just pick it up and calm things down once again. 25 minutes to play in this game. I believe Mason City entered tonight, number 13 in the IGH SAU rankings from last week. Of course, those rankings should be coming out here on Thursday for this week's. Roosevelt would like to find themselves in there. Certainly might deserve a spot in the top 15 of Class 3A. Mason City on the attack. McMorris has a go. Swing and a miss, and here comes Roosevelt on the counter. Bella Lohmeyer gets knocked off the ball there. Lohmeyer, a junior for the Rough Riders. Going to settle it back at her feet and try and play one through. She does to Gross. Gross back to Lohmeyer. Lohmeyer out to the middle. Tough first touch there for Carlson to try and handle. It's turned over. Ondoma turns it right back over, and Roosevelt going to go to work. We're going to get a handball call on Gross. And that will set up the free kick for Mason City here. Backline handling it for Mason City. Going to play it to the sideline. That ball out of bounds. Could not quite be corralled there. Or handled, I should say, from Kenna Heyman. Quick throw in. Played with along the sideline there. Hope Reagan. Tic-tac-toe they go, but turned over Ondoma once again. Here comes McMorris. McMorris working into space. Again, just runs out of room to try and get any offense going, and Roosevelt going to come back on the counter. I think they're content here at 5-1, just want to possess it. Just as I say that, they're going to get on the attack once again. Gross right there, comes up with it at her feet. Cannot quite get it on net, though. Great effort from Gross, great effort from Hardy, and Hardy almost gets, or does get away with another one there. That ball will be a goal kick for Mason City. Gross with some speed got in there before Hardy could pounce on that loose ball. Fortunately for Gross, just couldn't quite get a good first touch on it to try and drive it back to the back of the net. Almost got it there as it was just wide of frame. Fourth shot attempt there for Roosevelt. Roosevelt's only had one on net, one on frame, and that one went in again. Should say two on frame after that. My stat keeping while doing play-by-play, obviously not going as smooth as I had hoped on this Tuesday night. But once again, thanks for being with us on CISN this evening. A fun night. Certainly fun to see Roosevelt in action here at Mediacom Stadium on All-Ball Family Field. Carlson going to send one well wide outside the 6-yard box. Sorry, that was Bray with a wide shot attempt. Number 6 on the half for Roosevelt. Certainly have dominated possession tonight. Mason City, nothing to hang their hat about. I mean, Roosevelt's just had some good effort, some good early shots. A couple breakaways don't help, and that is always a tough spot. Some positives to take away from this. Plenty of fight. McMorris now going to go back on the attack. And that's a smart play there by Roosevelt's defender. That's Lila Kehoe just tapping it out of bounds and allowing her team to kind of reset on the defensive half. McMorris with the ball at her feet once again. Nifty little touch and go. Spin. Shifty is McMorris. Going to send one into the box. Powell can easily let that one bounce into her hands. And again, we're about to tick to 20 minutes left in this game, halfway through the second half. The 5-1 lead for the Roosevelt Rough Riders against the Mason City Riverhawks. Ball played up through midfield for Roosevelt. First touch oh so critical on this turf. Ball played up and through by Carlson. And that will be out of bounds. Roosevelt throw-in coming up once again. Carlson and Bray both have the same tape job, making life a little bit difficult. You see a pink, looks like pink tape around their right ankle. Of course, 18 and 13 there for Roosevelt. Does make it a bit challenging to get numbers right sometimes from up here in the press box. And we're going to get a possession going Roosevelt's direction once again. Free kick coming after the foul call. Ball sent in toward the 18. Quick flick over the top. Here comes a good opportunity. Just wide of frame goes Ada Bogdansky. She was looking for her second of the night. And that one kind of snuck up on me, if I'm being honest. Bogdansky had a little bit of a step there. Just gets a left foot on it and sends it wide of frame. Could have been a 6-1 game. Bogdansky looking for her 5th goal on the year. Siva Knittel already has 5 this season after a 2-goal night tonight. Ziva Spellman with 17 this season for Roosevelt. She had the second of this evening's showdown. Roosevelt once again possessing across the middle. Carlson going to send it out wide. Quick one-touch back to Carlson. She has space, sends one into the box. That ball cleared wide out to the near sideline. Good job there by Mason City, just quelling that attack on the backside of things. It's Whitney Davis, the sophomore defender, just booting that one out of bounds. Roosevelt going back in off the throw-in. Mason City just unable to get any runs going. Through ball has been tough to do. As if you look at the wide setup here of Roosevelt, they've got 2 defenders back at the 50. They know the dangers of McMorris. They're content keeping things that way as one gets sent in on frame once again. That one, I believe, off the foot of Bray. Yes, it was. Bray with a good boot there, but wonderfully handled by Isabel Hardy. Here comes McMorris. Fancy footwork. Going to go with some speed now. Has a little bit of help in the box. She's going to send one in, try and wrap it around the defender. Asia Lynn Powell, though, doing a good job coming off her line, communicating with her defenders, but that punt just gets away with it as it hits off McMorris's foot. Roosevelt with the throw-in. Hope Reagan on the throw-in here. Finds the feet of Bray, turns it over. Here comes Mason City, back to McMorris at the 20, just above it. She's going to try and shift in to the middle. Works around a couple defenders. That ball wonderfully cut back, and here comes Roosevelt on the counter before a quick turnover. Mason City just cannot quite corral it, but we do keep it in play. Aspen Jennings. Great job by her. She gets one fed low into the box. Going to try and cross one back in. Just out of reach there for Mason City. That one sent up and over the crossbar. See if we can get a number on that one. I believe it was Sewell once again. Nope, that was Kaya Whipple. Whipple doing a good job there, trying to get one on frame. Just over the crossbar. Only a couple shot attempts here in this half. Of course, Whipple with the best chance of the night as she was sitting on the back post. Just had to tap it in with a foot off the feet from Sewell and off the outside of her right back to a Roosevelt defender. Very different game at that point. Strong play there by Mason City's midfield. Roosevelt gets the ball back and they go right back to work. Carlson sent with it at her feet. Going to try and send a left in. Another one finds foot of Carlson. Carlson cutting back. Playing it back to her other midfielder, Bray. Bray playing it out wide. Looks like Bella Lohmeyer out there on the right. She's going to work it to the corner. Cut it back. She's looking for a little bit of support. Turnover going Mason City's way. Bray with a kick on the official. He apologizes. It never feels good. Bray with a little bit of a laugh. apologizes, and we're going to get a quick little kickoff here for Roosevelt. Indirect. There we go, and then things will settle back in. Carlson at her feet to Bray. Back to Carlson, just a little bit in front of her. Here comes Mason City trying to counter. Sewell up ahead. That finds no man's land and bounds out of bounds. Under 15 to play at the Albaugh Family Field here on Drake University's campus. Mediacom Stadium, home of Des Moines Public Schools athletics. Anything on turf between football and soccer played here between 4 of the 5 DMPS schools. Ball turned over. Here comes McMorris once again, cutting back, has some room with her right. Stepped in on by the defender. Great job by Roosevelt's defense there, not giving McMorris much room to play with. That was a strong play by Lila Kehoe, and Kehoe gets up. That turf burns a little bit. Second half to make it a 4-1 game. Roosevelt's back line, that's Kruger, battling through, comes up with it at her feet. Still has some room, going to play it out wide to Knittel. Knittel sending one toward the 18-yard box. Has a little bit of help down there. I think it's Spellman. Get a bit of distance from this press box and it can be tough. Spellman playing a left. Can't quite get it to go. Good opportunity there for Roosevelt though, as that shot was sent just wide of frame. That was Spellman, I confirmed. 8 shots in the half for Roosevelt. 2 on frame though. Both that have been on frame have gone to the back of the net. 7.5 to play, and this one feels all but done, barring a minor miracle from Mason City. But nonetheless, they'll play till that final horn sounds. Roosevelt's back line not giving an inch. Ball not settling. Knittel coming in, comes away with it, even though 2 Mason City players were there. On the feet of Bogdansky. Carlson with the ball, looking for a little bit of help, just going to play it back nicely. Out wide to the right, down the line, into no man's land once again. But that's no harm done for Roosevelt. The backside, they're going to switch the field, or at least try. Mason City, though, comes away with the ball on the near side. That's Kaya Whipple. A little bit of back pressure. Whipple going to come away with that ball, taking it off the foot of Hope Reagan. Reagan sticking with Whipple. Whipple going to play it back easily there to Elise Dykstra. Dykstra looking for a little switch. Another turnover, Carlson's feet. Going to play it up through the middle. Lovely feet ahead they go, but once again, Isabel Hardy coming off her line very wisely and scoops it up. Ball takes a big hop down to the feet of it is Whipple once again. Roosevelt has kept that soccer ball on their feet much of this night. Mason City just really unable to sustain any structure offensively. Across the midfield, going to play it back to Kruger. Kruger going to go out wide now to O'Barry. Down the sidelines goes Harper. Back in, can't quite be cleared. There is a clearance now, ticking down to 5 minutes or so left in this game, and Roosevelt will reset with Hope Reagan. Reagan with space, going to go to the middle. Nice job by our official tonight to dodge that one across the middle. Ball being played out wide. Spellman with the ball at her feet, going to play a left into the box. Ball is there and available for the taking for Knittel. She just cannot plant it to her foot, and back comes Mason City now on a counterattack. Whipple ahead. Just could not find her teammate there. That was a lovely structured attack coming your way. Aspen Jennings was in the mix there too across the middle. But once again, Mason City finds the ball at their feet. Quick clearance attempt. Back pressure there. Paisley Carter on the near side here for Mason City, but the ball at the feet of Siba Knittel. Wayne Bruning just having a bit of a hard time getting that ball going, but Roosevelt getting back to work there. Carlson just out of reach of her. Here comes Mason City on a quick counter. It's Aspen Jennings. Has some room, nobody there on the far side. I think she was expecting a runner. Maybe she thought Dykstra was going to be just a hair, or I'm sorry, maybe she thought Whipple was going to be just a hair further out wide. Nonetheless, the clock ticking under 4 minutes, and this game just about to wrap up here at Mediacom Stadium as a 5-1 lead for Roosevelt. This one well in hand, no threat of overtime or extra time, I should say. 2 40-minute halves are all we play here at the high school level, and again, a beautiful night. Ended up after some quick storms rolled through around 6:30, and then once again in the middle of this game around probably 8:30 or so. Put our camera operators on their heels and on their toes simultaneously. Roosevelt with the ball across the middle as we tick down to 3 minutes left in this game, and Rough Riders trying to find a little bit more to add to this. Knittel looking for the hat trick, looks for the cross. We're going to get another corner for Roosevelt, under 3 to go. Looks like either Carlson or Bray. It's been Carlson much of the night tonight on these corner kicks. It is Carlson. She's going to step and deliver to 5 Rough Riders waiting at the top of the 18. Step, deliver, there we go. Ball into the box. Hardy with the punch out, ball settling at the feet of Spellman. She could not get a good foot on it to try and drive it home. Good clearance by Mason City. 2:15 to play. Reagan with the ball on her feet. Shields off a defender nicely, but turnover by Mason City. To the feet of Jennings. Jennings now looking for a runner or two to help her out. She has a little bit of help there. Looking for another through ball to Jennings. Just tops over her foot to the back line. Again, Kehoe and Kruger have been busy at times. The back two there for Roosevelt, but they have handled all the pressure very, very well. Flag stays down. We've got a breakaway here for Spellman. She goes to the left, and that one will put it away. Spellman with a quick shush to the Mason City sideline, and that will make it a 6-1 lead with 1:36 left to play in this one. Ziba Spellman, great through ball and quick little quiet the crowd there. At 38-24 of the second half. I think Spellman's been warned for a little bit of taunting there after the goal. Ziva Spellman's her 18th of the season, second of the night, makes it 6-1 at 8:24. Roosevelt going to come away with the victory tonight, make it 10 wins on the season for the Rough Riders. 10-2. This one will send Mason City to 10-3. I'd fully expect the Rough Riders to be in the top 15 of the rankings at week's end. Minute left at the foot of Powell. Powell's just going to clear one away. Roosevelt doesn't need to do much more with this. Just keep possession. No threat in this one. No need to even take it to a corner. 45 seconds to play. Reagan with the ball. She's going to put it up to Carlson. Carlson going to go on a little bit of a run here and go out wide down the line. She's looking for more. Knittel there too with some speed. Roosevelt not taking the foot off the gas here with 30 seconds to play against this Mason City Riverhawks team. We will recap the full scoring when the final horn sounds before we send you on your way and bid you adieu. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 as the clock does strike zeros. And there's your final horn. Full time, Roosevelt wins it tonight 6-1 here at Mediacom Stadium. Rough Riders winning their 9th in a row. Moved to 10-2 on the season. Mason City drops their 2nd in a row. Now 10-3 on the year. But don't count this Riverhawks team out on the season. Quick scoring recap. Seba Knittel got us started at 2:02 of the game. 1-0 lead there. Then Ziva Spellman nets her 17th on the season. 2-0 at 3:40. 20 minutes into this game, Carmen McMorris steps in for the PK after the foul in the box. Made it a 2-1 game, and we thought we'd be just battling it out from there. 25-34 of the first half. Ada Bogdansky, one in off her belly, 3-1. 4th goal of the season there as the Roosevelt Rough Riders took a 2-goal lead. That took us into half. Out of it, Emma Krambeck found the back of the net to make it a 4-1 game at 6:45. Then Knittel nets her 2nd of the night to make it a 5-1 game at 11:19 of the second half, her 5th of the season. And then for good measure, Ziva Spellman, 6-1 lead for Roosevelt there at the 18-24 minute mark. 18th goal of the season, and that's where we finish. 6-1 tonight here at Mediacom Stadium. Once again, Roosevelt moving to 10-2. Mason City drops to 10-3 on the year. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on CISN. A big shout out to our crew this evening, battling through wind, rain, and all the elements. We'll see you next time for our next broadcast.
It's our April sales event, now at DeArmond Ford Indianola. New F-150s, the best-selling truck for 47 years with 1.9% APR for 72 months, plus $1,000 cash. Get 0% for 66 months on both new Ford Explorers and Edges, plus $750 cash back on Explorer. And all-electric Mach-E, now only $460 a month. Save big during our April sales event at DeArmond Ford. DeArmondFord.com.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Hi, Joe the Car Guy, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car is on injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible, so bring it here to Westside Auto. I have the team of experts that can fix every automotive injury, whether it's a fractured joint, a broken part, or if your car just got its bell rung. We'll do a complete physical to make sure your car is game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get you back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging out there, move it, move it, move it!
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here, and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.